Making the internet feel better about itself since 2025. This is the Joevelocity Show. Brought to you by Old Glory, who offers over 300,000 items for music, sports, entertainment, and pop culture fans. Featuring officially licensed merchandise from iconic bands and top sports teams. Discover your perfect fan gear and save 15% with the exclusive discount code Joevelocity at oldglory.com.
And welcome to the Joevelocity Show. This is a special show for me. I am here with, and everybody knows you as Sharon, but to me, you are my mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am very well. Thank you. Thank you.
I hoodwinked you into doing this here for me. So.
Oh, you're welcome.
Because I always need guests. And I was like, you didn't think I was actually telling the truth. It's like.
No, I didn't think you wanted me. You wanted someone your age. Anyway.
No. Yeah, let's not talk about my age because, God, I'm so close to 50 now.
Oh, my God.
And you're perpetually 29, so, you know.
Yes.
Right?
I'd like to think so.
Right.
My body doesn't tell me that way, but yeah.
I know. Tell me about it. Yeah. It's kind of like, I've noticed as I've gotten older, it's kind of like, if I'm on my knees doing something and I get up, it's kind of like, oh, God. You know, it used to be no problem at all whenever I was younger, but now it's kind of like, oh, God. But I must say, though, I still feel young, at least in thought, but maybe not in actually body movements, you know, but anyway.
It's only a number. It's only a number.
Right?
That's right. So my mother tells me.
So, by the way, I just wanted to mention something here is that ad in the beginning there for the Old Glory has all those, they have all these t-shirts, and I have a good idea for a Christmas gift. So I'll send it off to you.
Oh, okay.
It's a Queen shirt. And you know the shirts that have the Helvetica, and it's like so and so and so and so and so and so.
Yes.
You know? This one says Deacon and May and Taylor and Mercury. It's the last names of all the Queen members. So it's a cool looking shirt. And I figured that'd be a little bit different. But it's a nice looking shirt.
For you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't think my Queen days are kind of over. So.
Yeah, I'm not listening to them all the time anymore. While we're at home and everything there. But
that's true.
Right? But anyways here, so this episode we're going to do Am I the Jerk stories. So we don't have to say the word asshole all the time.
Do you think I'd be offended by that?
No. But
okay.
because we're going to record in our episode and it's all Am I the Asshole stories. So
oh, okay.
So I wasn't thinking this all the way through there. Basically, it was kind of like, and in the beginning, it was kind of like, yeah, let me tone it down a little bit for Mom. But then on the next show, it was kind of like, screw it. Or I could just say, am I the a-hole? And they could avoid me swearing as much, you know.
Oh, I see.
Do,
oh, well, that's so sweet of you.
Always thinking about your precious ears, you know. So.
Yes, I hear. I hear that.
But anywho, yeah, we'll go ahead here and we'll get this started here with the first story that we have here. Am I the jerk for emergency braking? And it goes, hey everyone, I had the weirdest situation happen. I was on the way back from my parents with my girlfriend in the car when, as we rounded the corner going about 50 miles per hour, I saw a cat in the middle of the road. I acted instinctively and did a full-on emergency stop. In total, the whole thing took about a second, and the cat just barely managed to escape my front tire. I immediately got out to see if I'd injured it, but luckily it escaped. Now here's the part that tripped me up. My girlfriend, a cat lover, an avid proponent of not hitting animals on the road, was mad at me because the emergency stop hurt her neck. Nothing terrible. I offered to go to the hospital with her to get it checked out, but she refused. There was no room to swerve, a higher curb on the left, and a gutter on the right, and most importantly, I didn't think. It was pure reflex. By the time I had processed the whole situation, we were standing still. I find it a bit unfair to her to tell me I was actively putting her in danger when I didn't have the time to think. The road was empty, and any other reaction like swerving to the left or to the right would have certainly wrecked my car. What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we can start off with your thought.
Okay. Well, first of all, I do think he was an a-hole for driving 50 miles an
No,
hour
yeah, I was thinking about that. I
around
was
a
like,
curve.
damn.
You
That's like,
know, slow down, and then if something runs out in front of you, you can have time to brake.
I've never been able to drive a car 50 miles an hour around the curve.
Okay, good. That was
You
like
know,
the first thing I was
it's like
thinking
unless I
of.
wanted to tip said car over on its
Yeah,
side. Yeah,
right. You want to end up in the gutter or the
yeah.
off the side of the road. Okay, but according for everything else, for swerving for an animal, no, he's not an a-hole for that.
No,
I mean, from my own personal experience, from being married to a vegetarian, if there is a bird, a mouse, or even a butterfly in our path, not to mention any other kind of wild animal on the road, my husband is like, it's their life first and my life is secondary to all of that. So I can say is just to tell her to make sure that she has her seatbelt like fastened tightly.
I've seen him with bugs, and it's kind of like, whenever like
Bugs, yes.
it's like he will not kill a bug. It
No.
could be a spotted lanternfly, which is
Yeah,
which they recommend that you kill.
that's right. That's right.
Or a stink bug, which you usually grab a tissue and then throw it in the toilet. He'll go ahead and he'll basically take it outside and let it go.
That's right. That's right.
I'm not sure if he's actually helping things.
Some instances. But in this case, though, I mean, she'd better just buckle up because,
Yeah.
If you can't at least try to avoid hitting an animal, you see too many on the road, too many deer and, everything else on the road. So, yeah, like I give him kudos for that.
Right. Yeah, that kind of reminds me of the one time, though, I felt so bad about this. I was driving between your house and my father's house, and a bunny ran across the road, and it ran across the road in such an amount of time that I could not stop.
Yeah.
And I ran over the bunny.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, my God. It was...
Wasn't it Easter? Was it?
No, thank God. Here comes Peter Cottontail, squash. But anyways,
no, sometimes it just can't be avoided. But
yeah,
I mean, when there are butterflies and things, birds flying in front of you, we started calling them suicide birds or butterflies if they get hit because a bug gets squashed on the windshield. They're suicide bugs.
Oh God. But anyways, here, yeah, I think the commenters, agreed with us there. Absolutely not a jerk. Did you ask her, what else could I do but slam on the brakes? If you could safely swerve, then I don't know what she expected. You avoid killing an animal and no one is seriously injured. In my book, that makes you a fine human being. So, the other one's going there to say, I agree, you have good reflexes and critical path method on judgment of the situation. Funny thing is, whenever I brake hard, I reflexively reach over to catch the passenger. Old reflex from before safety belts. Do you do that whenever you drive? If you have to stop quickly?
Used to do that. Yeah, I used to do that when you kids were, in the car and little in the car, and we didn't have to have seatbelts on. Oh yeah, all the time.
Right, and so we don't slam our heads against the dashboard.
Yeah, it's like that was your safety belt. Right.
But here's a good question: did we wear safety belts when we were kids?
I don't think that really started until, I don't know. You'd have to look that one up.
Like us, me and my sister.
You had car seats. I mean, I had you in car seats.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is that after we got out of the car seats there, we were just sitting in the car seat. Were we wearing our seatbelt all the time?
No, I mean, I don't think our cars even had seatbelts in them.
I think they did, but...
Maybe, but you weren't they could have had seatbelts in them. I don't know. I don't know the history of the seatbelt. I don't know.
We weren't driving 1950 Ford Fairlanes that didn't have seatbelts in them. This was the 80s.
I don't know when the seatbelt came out, and you weren't. I mean,
we had seatbelts in the 80s.
It wasn't mandatory that you wear them or use them.
I will agree with you there. It wasn't mandatory until like the 90s sometime.
Yeah. So then you were all grown up by then.
Because at that point there, we also grew up during the time where they started before airbags. So they had so they started either you had to have airbags in the car or you had to have the retractable seatbelts, like the motorized seatbelts. Remember those?
Yes.
But we never had a car that had those, thank God. So, but anyways, yeah, it was just like, but still instinctively, like if I have to brake quickly and I have somebody else in the car, yeah, I will put my arm out, and
Right.
protect them there. Yeah, it's always it's kind of like a good reflex to have, I guess.
Yeah. And, I mean, really getting back to all this, it'd be nice if they had some sort of underground roadway for animals. I know some places do have things like that, but I think, they could do a lot more to,
Or put the cars underground and let the,
leave the animals above the
let
ground.
the animals above, because it's kind of funny there, because like there'll be signs for deer crossings and some people
Yeah.
will be like,
How do
why
they
can't
know?
they move this deer crossing? It's not like, we have any
Well,
choice in
that's
the
where they
matter.
need to build an underground, just a tunnel.
Yeah. And put the
You know,
cars in the underground tunnel and let
no,
the
I
animals.
don't want to drive like through a tunnel
Well,
all the time.
I don't see any way it's going to work, to be honest
No.
with you.
Oh, well.
Finally, the last comment said, ask her if she would rather have you run over the cat, because that seems the only other option here. So,
Yes.
I mean, yeah, basically to me here, it's kind of like, you know what? I mean, it was like she had to stop hard. I'm sorry, he had
What
to
would
stop
she
hard.
do? He
Yeah,
should ask her, what would you do? What would you
exactly.
have done?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
first of all, she probably say I wouldn't be doing 50 miles an hour around a curve.
Oh, God. Still, yeah, that's the part that kind of struck me when I read that. It was kind of like 50 miles an hour around a curve. I'm like, your tires have to be squealing at that point,
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, too, yeah, it's just, I mean, I think he did the right thing there. That's all he could do there.
Yeah. He did the best in his situation. And
And,
she should be happy he did that.
right? Exactly. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead here and move on to the second story. Am I the jerk about how I handled a frustrating situation at the pharmacy? I take multiple medications and I don't like people knowing what they are. I live in a town where it's very likely to know at least one person in the store you're on any given day. My name is also somewhat well known around town. For this reason, when I pick up my meds at CVS, I hand them my ID instead of having to say my name and other information out loud. And also, as a female, I feel better doing it this way and not saying my address out loud. I also need to show my ID for some of the meds anyways. This has never been a problem. The workers behind the counter always just take the ID and go about the transaction. Well, the other day a lady behind the counter took my ID and then said, not quietly, your last name is Smith? I'm annoyed already, but just say, yeah. She then says, what is your first name? I said, do I really have to say it out loud? That's the whole entire point of me handing you the ID. And she says, yes, but I typed that in, pointing to my last name, and I find nothing. And then she says, can you point to your name on here, referring to the ID? And at this point, I was confused and just asked, you don't know how to read a Massachusetts ID? And she said, no. I know. And then finished the transaction. I said, thank you. And she didn't say anything back or even look at me. So I think I was mad or thought I was just being rude, but I was genuinely perplexed by why I was being put through the whole entire process. And was honestly asking if she didn't know how to read an ID, because obviously that would be an issue for her in that line of work. I didn't say it harshly, as I was genuinely asking. So, am I the jerk?
No, I can see a lot of reasons she wouldn't want to give her name and address
Yeah.
out loud in a pharmacy. But I think what the clerk did was really against a lot of HEPA laws. I think, you're not supposed to be telling people about, medications that you take and things like that.
Yeah, because I think, if she hadn't violated the HIPAA law, then at that point she was very close to doing it there.
Very close
because
to
she would
doing
have been
that.
like, I have your cream, I have your salve, I have your this,
Yeah.
I have your that.
Yes. And you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
So, but she should have at some point just asked for the pharmacist or the manager of the pharmacist to talk with them, because they probably knew her there.
Yeah.
It's not like, she said it was a small town and everybody knew each other, but, they probably knew who she was. And maybe the girl was new, but, and, trying to follow directions that she had
trying
been
to be
given.
nice, or, just,
Well,
just
she
doing
doesn't
her
sound
thing
like she was being very nice, But,
Right.
she could have been a little bit more accommodating. But
Mhm.
at some point, she should have, I think, this lady, Miss Smith, should have just asked to talk to the manager or pharmacist. I think that would have been the best way to handle that situation.
Right.
Because, like she said, there are people out there, if she's screaming her address out loud and stuff, I know at my pharmacy, I have to always give my birth date. And I'm like, oh, really? I'm like Diane Cannon. I lie about my age all the time. So sometimes I can't remember my birthday.
I was born in 1980. I'm 29. Well, I don't think you'd be 29 if you're born in 1980. But anyways, still, yeah, I could understand that. It's just kind of like I'm at work. And for example, when I had to verify people who don't actually work there, they're like a contractor. I had to verify other information other than their social security number because we're not allowed to keep that information. So I ask them their date of birth, and I always cringe whenever I have to do that there because I'm asking women their date of birth, and a lot of women don't like telling their age,
Right.
because discrimination still exists, unfortunately, in this world. And for me, it's just kind of like, okay, what's your date of birth, And then I cringe when it's like 2000, when they were born, And it's kind of like, well, I wasn't
really cringe.
Yeah.
At mine.
It's like you're either very young or really old, And why are you still here? Kind of thing. You should be retired for at least the last 15 years at this point.
Well, that's probably why they don't want to give their
Right.
age.
Yeah. So, but anyways, here, the commenters I think agreed with us as well there, but they get really funny in the comments there. The first one basically said, I agree with you wanting to keep your name private. I don't think you were being difficult. I think the tech was being impatient and didn't want to take the time to read your ID. Asked to speak to a supervisor like you had suggested. If this happens again, explain why you prefer to have them read your ID instead of to state your name. But anyways, here, they go on to say here, maybe she didn't have her reading glasses on and couldn't read the small font easily. But in any case, I noticed a lack of privacy at the pharmacy. Sometimes at my pharmacy, they even say out loud, I have drug A, drug B, and drug C ready for you. Loud enough that other people can definitely hear what meds you're picking up.
No, they should never do that. Never, ever.
Yeah, I actually stopped even getting my meds there through the pharmacy. Actually, I now do it basically through the mail. Or basically I order them, online, have them just ship them to me basically.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how well that works out and how much time that saves me and everything. I know that everybody can't do that because there's certain like drugs you can't get online through the mail. So
I do the same thing. I get mine through the mail.
Yeah.
I've had my own run-ins at the pharmacies and, I'd rather not stand in line forever.
The last one made me laugh there. Try picking vaginal cream at Walgreens drive-thru. They had the speakers turned all the way up in spite of the customer's request of, no, I don't need instructions. We'll proceed to broadcast every humiliating detail about using the product. Yes, the whole time a waiting cars get to hear names, medication, sticker right on in there. Not
You did.
the jerk.
Yes.
But in that case, I think that goes in the hassle.
I would never
territory.
go to that pharmacy again. I would do everything I
I'd
could
be
to get them.
embarrassed. I would not want to show my face.
Unless they were doing it as a joke, maybe they knew her, maybe they were like, kids.
Here's your vaginal cream.
Yeah. Genevieve.
Stick it in your hoo-ha 3 times a day. It's like, oh, God. No. But believe it or not, guess what time it is? It's time for a break.
Yay.
So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a break here. We'll be right back with more of the Joevelocity Show after this.
You could listen to a station that plays the same 6 songs on repeat. Or you could try Joevelocity FM, the home of rock, pop, alternative, and new wave, curated by someone who doesn't hate you. No talk radio, no wacky morning crew, just non-stop music and unapologetic attitude. We're Joevelocity FM, always in motion, like your caffeine withdrawal, but way more fun. Click, stream, regret nothing. JoeVelocityFM.com.
If ensuring speed and security for your sites is really a top priority for you, then search no further than Voxonic's shared website hosting plans. They use SSD-powered servers and provide numerous site acceleration tools that make your websites load noticeably faster. Additionally, they deploy ZFS data storage to shield your website contents from corruption. Also, they will manage the task of migrating all the websites you need to their system, absolutely free of cost. Get started now by going to voxonix.com. That's VOXONX.com.
Welcome back to the Joevelocity Show. I'm here again with my mom. And hey, you're doing a great job, I must say.
Oh, thanks, honey.
So, because I know, like, you know, at first you're kind of like, yeah, right. Whenever I suggested that, hey,
I didn't know what we'd talk about, but we always have something to talk about.
Yeah, but we made it work so far, and, you know. Anyways, third story here. Am I the jerk for not wanting to pursue my dream job because my wife sacrificed hers? I, 28 male, have always dreamed of being an artist. As a kid, I'd spend hours sketching characters, landscapes, and whatever came to mind. It was the only thing that made me feel alive whenever life got hard. Growing up, my family was financially unstable, so art supplies weren't always accessible. My parents were always supportive in theory, but they were also realists. They often said things like, art is a nice hobby, but you need a real job. Fast forward to college, I majored in graphic design because it felt like a safe way to pursue art while staying employable. Around this time, I met my now wife, Emily, 27 female. Emily was studying biology and dreamed of becoming a vegetarian, dreamed of becoming a veterinarian. She's always been one of the most hardworking and selfless people I know. We clicked immediately and became inseparable. After graduation, Emily's path to becoming a vet hit a major roadblock. Her father had a stroke, and her family couldn't afford the cost of both his care and her graduate school. Without hesitation, Emily dropped her plans and started working full-time to help her parents. I offered to contribute, but she refused, saying, "You got your dreams too. Focus on them." She encouraged me to chase my art career, even when I felt guilty watching her put hers on hold. With her support, I managed to land a decent graphic design job at a marketing firm. It wasn't exactly what I envisioned, but it paid the bills. Over the years, though, my passion for art started to fade. Deadlines, uninspiring projects, and corporate constraints made me feel like I was just another cog in the machine. About a year ago, Emily suggested I take some time off to rediscover my love for art. She said, "You've always supported me. Let me return the favor." At first, I was hesitant, but her insistence won me over. I quit my job and started working on personal art projects. For the first time in years, I felt like myself again. But here's where things get complicated. A few months ago, I was offered an incredible opportunity to work for a game studio, something I've dreamed of since I was a kid. It's a high-paying, prestigious position, and everyone says I'd be crazy to turn it down. The problem? It's in a city across the country, and Emily can't come with me. Emily recently started a small pet care business in our town, finally finding a way to reconnect with her passion. She's built a loyal client base and is generally happy. Moving isn't an option for her right now, and she does want to do long distance. She told me repeatedly that she'd support me if I took the job, but I can see the sadness in her eyes when we talk about it. Here's the part that makes me feel like a jerk. I've decided not to take the job. I haven't told Emily yet, but I made up my mind. I know she has encouraged me to go, but I can't bring myself to leave her. She's sacrificed so much for me and her family. How could I repay her by abandoning her now? At the same time, I wonder if I'm being unfair to myself. By giving up on my dream for no reason? What if I start to resent her later, even though she never asked me to stay? I don't want to feel like I wasted my potential, but I also don't want to hurt the person who means the most to me. So, am I the jerk for not wanting to pursue my dream job because my wife sacrificed hers? This is really interesting.
I think she's the jerk.
Why?
Because what has he sacrificed for her?
Well, that's a good question.
She said to him over and over again that you've got your dreams too, focus on them. You've always supported me. Let me return the favor.
Mm-hmm.
How has she ever? I mean, she has, as long as he's like tied to the town that she's living in. But they're married now, and I think this is a discussion they should really, really talk to, over with like a counselor or something like that. So neither one of them ends up being the jerk. But, someone somewhere along the line, they have to decide what their end goal game is going to be.
Right.
Are they going to live in a small town where sounds like he's burnt out there too. And he, has a great opportunity. She has a small pet care business. She could start that anywhere, and build up a clientele if she was that good in her own town to do that.
Yeah.
So I think she's being the jerk about here.
Well, I also understand where he's coming from there too. It's kind of like, I don't want to disrupt her because she has a good thing going. I don't necessarily
she has
want
a
to
small pet care business. I mean, I don't take that lightly. I mean, I'm glad that she's doing that. And it sounds like, it's important business in her town, but
it's something that can be mobile, can be moved.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And, unless he would look into seeing if his job would be mobile, maybe he could work from home. That never wasn't brought up here, but it would be an interesting, maybe he could do that. But I do think they should go and talk to a counselor about this because moving's not an option for her right now. So, and she doesn't want to do long distance. What's that mean? It doesn't sound like she's too happy with him to begin with.
But anyways, here, I think the commenters agreed with you, especially with the, seeking advice here. One of them said, don't make a decision without asking her opinion first. Yes, definitely talk it over. Yeah, they need to sit down and have a,
But I think they even should go through like, a mediator, some kind, because, he's like too into her and she's like, kind of like set in her way or something. I don't know her problem she has. Definitely. Probably she doesn't want to leave her family because her father still needs care. But
the other thing is that she never went to graduate school. So she never really became an actual vet.
Right.
And
but
so
this
that's the
might
entire thing. I think they
give
need
her
to go
the
ahead
opportunity.
And
I
think
if
she actually wants to do that still.
Right.
Because in that case, then I think that,
there is a way here for them both to be happy and have their dream job as well.
Because one of the commenters said, we should be able to go back to school, maybe even become a vet tech at the very least. Would you be able to cover all the bills? And then also, too, related to that your dream job may enable her to chase her dream. No one is the jerk, but you may eventually resent her, encourage her to look at schools in the new city. It's a tough situation.
All right.
Yeah, they kind of agree with us there is that, one, they need to talk, and two, they need to basically figure out here what to do so that way everybody is at least, happy there. Because if they move and she can go back to school, I think she'll be happy with the fact that she can actually become a vet, or a veterinary tech
at the very least, vet tech or something like that. But right.
So,
but I guess it's too late for them now.
Well, it's not too late yet. They can talk. So
well, I hope they're talking.
Right. But anyways, guess what time it is?
What time, Joe?
It's time for the last story. Our moment of conclusion. Am I the jerk for not being mad at my daughter and thinking that she's actually pretty funny? So I'm 43, dad, who's 64, used to love taking us on adventures as kids, but he's slowed down recently. He still loves spending time with my daughter, who's a female and 12 years old. So Dad decided to introduce them to his favorite childhood shows, and for whatever reason, she loves them. Star Trek, Bonanza, the Andy Griffith Show, all of it. She's hooked. She thinks it's all fantastic. Okay, so fun fact about my daughter. She loves Googling fun facts. Her favorite phrase is, did you know, like we'll drive past a sign that says we're X miles away from some location. And she whips out that phone and is like, did you know X location is the salamander capital of the world? It's really cute and annoying at the same time. So last week she comes downstairs and says, did you know that ABC made Burt Ward take pills to shrink his penis? Totally deadpan. Didn't even crack. When I tell you I wheezed. She showed me the article, and yep, they did. The 60s, what a time. The wife was mad. She told daughter to never use that word. We were going to wash her mouth out with soap. My daughter pouted and went about her day. Next day, she told her dad, who didn't believe her at first, then absolutely lost it when he read the article she pulled up. I can't remember the last time I saw him laugh that hard. The wife came out, heard that what the commotion was all about, and told the daughter if she brought it up again, she would be in big trouble. Well, today, one of my wife's friends called while the girls were having a play date, and you'll never guess what my daughter did. You'll never guess in a million years. Go on, guess. Yes, she told this story to her little friend, who also thought it was hilarious. Mother did not. My wife is serious now and says we need to come up with a punishment. I don't want to punish her. I think if we stop making a big deal about it, she'll get bored of it eventually. The wife's argument is that she's doing it for attention. Duh, she's 12. But she's going to learn about this stuff now in health class soon anyways. Might as well get the giggles out of the system now. Am I the jerk for not supporting my wife and dragging my heels on punishing my daughter? My wife says, even if I'm right, we at least need to punish her for disobeying us. I say, the harder we come down, the more she will push back. Did you ever have that problem with us as kids?
I think every parent has a moment, and it usually comes from like babies when they're learning to talk.
Yeah.
You're in the grocery store and all of a sudden, something comes out that you're like, want to crawl under the table because how did you learn that word? We never use that word in our house. But yeah, I think this is every parent's kind of nightmare. Mm-hmm. The thing here, I think, is, in your own house, you set your own rules. Mm-hmm. But it's important to, make sure that it's put on the parents that, they both get on the same side of this. He can't let her sneak around, tell him stuff like this on the sly, and he giggles about it. But then if she's caught doing it, with her dad and her mother disapproves, it just causes tension. They have to both get on the same side of this.
Because otherwise it makes one parent look like the bad parent.
Yes. Yeah. Even it may sound like it's just a trivial little thing, but 12-year-olds going around and, saying this, you get in the wrong crowd or something. It just looks bad on you and the whole family, basically. Maybe
they can come up with like a compromise, be like, yeah, you can say this at home, but don't mention it out in public to other people.
And please don't. And if I hear that you are, telling these stories even to your friend at her house, there will be consequences for it. And,
and also too, we should point out Burt Ward is actually Robin from Batman and Robin back in the day.
Yes.
So, and actually I looked this up here to see if it was true. It's absolutely true.
It is true. I remember back when it came out. And it was like.
So apparently the story was that he started taking the pills, and then he immediately stopped because it was kind of like, well, I'm not going to be able to have kids if I take these pills. Yeah. So.
Did he ever have kids? Did you follow up on that?
I don't know. I didn't read that far.
Okay.
I just thought.
I think they just need to have a heart-to-heart, with their daughter. It seems like they must have a pretty good relationship with her anyway. And even if there are younger kids in the house too, that's something else to be concerned about. You don't want them going around and saying things that are inappropriate for their age.
Right.
Like you said, they're going to be learning about this in health class. It's going to be, awkward and all that when they go through that stage.
Yeah.
But right now, I think it's too late to punish her now, though. I think it's a little over the, now that he can't punish her for something that happened, way back when. You have to make it fit with the, the consequences fit with the punishment.
The commenters actually brought up an important point. Not the asshole. She's 12. She keeps bringing it up because she'll get a reaction from mom. Just ignore it and it will stop. So
that's a lot of it too.
Yeah.
That is a lot of it.
Another person said, I think it throws a lot of parents for a loop to hear names for genitals, proper or slang, dropped casually by their middle schoolers. They associate those words with sex and sexuality, and it freaks them out to hear it out of a child's mouth. It's a jarring reminder that their baby is not quite a baby anymore.
You know, the other focus on this, and it's like a sexist thing, but maybe if they had a son and he said it.
Okay.
You know, I don't know anymore. Like, you know,
would they approach it the same way?
Yeah, would they? That'd be an interesting, you know,
right,
factor in this as well.
Yeah, I never thought of that actually. There, yeah, that's kind of interesting. I don't think it would be taken as well there. I mean, but I just think it was just kind of like the fact is so absurd, but it's also true that I think that's why, you know, he's kind of like, you know, this is hilarious, you know.
Yes, and I guess to hear his daughter like, you know, say it too would have been, you know. And I know families that this would have been completely, you know, a non-issue for them. I know couples that, you know, their kids, I mean, they think their kids are hilarious and they let them say like just about anything they want, you know.
Right.
You know, and it doesn't bother them. But then, like you say, you take them into another household.
It's kind of like,
and maybe it's, you know, yeah, I mean, you know,
what's going to fly here is not going to fly there. Right?
Yeah. Right.
The final one I thought was hilarious. We are not allowed to use the words penis or vulva at work because my boss's wife thinks it'll give the doctor impure thoughts. I work in a veterinary dermatology. I promise that if I'm talking about a penis or vulva, it is not a healthy, sexually appealing human one. Oh, God.
Well, that's, you know, that's something he has to deal with every day. So his punishment is
being married to her.
Right there.
Oh, man.
You have to have a sense of humor. If you're going to have kids, you need to have a sense of humor. And, you know, I mean, if this goes on and on and on and on, no, you know, you have to set them straight. But, you know, it's going to happen. Every family has had, this happen. So,
anyways, Burke can take his penis reducing pills, and Robin won't have as much of a, you know, show in the front. But anyways, anyways, believe it or not, we come to the end of the show. So,
no,
I know. I want to thank you so much for being with us here.
I can't wait to do the next one.
Well, guess what? We're going to record another one right after this. So
I'll be around.
Thanks for checking out the Joevelocity Show. Make sure to subscribe to us in your favorite podcast app so don't miss out on an episode. New episodes drop every Monday. For access to our websites, visit us at joevelocity.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.